Hey, 大家好, my name is Lei. Today, I want to share my story that happened 3 years ago. The reason for me to bring it up today is because I'm no longer to feel fearful to speak it out. I used to have a personal website. I share my thoughts, pictures, diaries, and of course I wrote some computer techniques as I was a student studying information technology. At the beginning, I hosted my website on servers out of China. A few years later, as I returned my home country, China, I moved my website to a Chinese host, which the server was physically located in China. This is the point where everything changed. For those of you who may not be familiar with what I said, I will try to cover a little bit of technical terms in order to help you to understand the whole story. You see, if you want to have a website in any other countries rather than except China, all you have to do is to buy a domain and link to a host. Whereas in China, you also need to fill up some forms with local to register with the local police department. Because of this, they can track you easily when needed. Remember what I said earlier about computer techniques on my site? One of my posts was a tutorial to teach people how to set up VPN on a host. And that post was always on the first page of Baidu search results with the keyword of VPN. One day, someone contacted me and wanted me to promote his VPN service. It's like an affiliation, so I can get commission if anyone purchases his service via my website. Yep. As time goes, there were more and more people contact me for affiliation of VPN service. This one day, I received a call from a self-proclaimed policeman. After his short introduction, he asked me to remove a web page from my website. Yeah, that's a page of the article about VPN, and I was silly at that time. What I did after that was I promised the policeman in phone call. I said, okay, I will remove the link, but instead of removal, I tried to block all the IP addresses from Heilongjiang province. Apparently that wasn't working. It wasn't working at all, actually. So what happened after that? A month later, I received another call from police. That police asked me if I could go to police station to check the hukou because they are doing the population census. This is exactly what they told me like. And I was like, no, I don't have time for that. I was working, so let my father do it instead. The next day, they still used the same excuse to find me, and I replied the same. The third day morning, 4 policemen with 1 technician went to my workplace. They showed me a police officer's card without the investigation certificate, and the technician has searched my computer without asking my permission. After that, they took me to a police station. I was very peaceful on the road. At the interrogation room, the police showed me some printouts of my website and my parents' ID card. And then they asked me details about the VPN stuff. Then they made a photocopy of my transaction records. What interesting was they were also confused about what law did I break and what sort of decision they should make for me, because there were a bunch of people who follows order, not decision makers. By the way, I had a spot of lunch with them at noontime. It was some baozi provided by the local police station. Can you imagine that, to sat with 3 cops and eating baozi face to face? It wasn't bad until another group of people came. I didn't see them all, but there were several people. But there were several plainclothes policemen came to me. What they did was to repeat some important questions with me and I had to answer them again so they can make a report on computer. There was one police took my phone away and asked my WeChat password. He gave me phone back after 10 minutes. I felt very uncomfortable because I was like fought along with some unlawful machines. When it's 5 p.m., two policemen drove me home to take my laptop for investigation. I was worried about they might leak my personal information by doing so, but they promised me they will only back up the data that matters. Then one of them took me to the Harbin's Public Security Bureau, offered me some sort of buffet as dinner. I got out at 7 p.m. I have never felt so good to be back to freedom. The next day, policeman called me to ask my QQ password. I guess he wanted to check my message with those guys who used to contact me for affiliation. Then I retrieved my laptop that afternoon and been told to wait for my result. A week later, they asked me to go back to Harbin Public Security Bureau to write a letter to confess for what I have done and promise I won't do it again. They also told me that the superior didn't demand a fine from me, but only asked me to admit my mistake and to keep this thing in secret. There were some interesting facts. Number one, the reason that they knew where I was working at was not because the technology they had. It was because I was silly enough to put my work company under the signature of WeChat. Number two, they didn't even check my laptop for investigation purpose. They were only trying to make me scared or something, something similar like this. How do I know this? Because I have checked the system logs. There were no signs of start up or sign off actions. Sign off event. Number three, police took me without investigation certificate, which itself is an illegal act. You know what I mean? Illegal act. They took person away without a permission, without a certificate, investigation certificate. But this is how things goes in China. Number four, the whole process of interrogation, it was okay because I was very cooperative. My domain is blacklisted by Great Firewall permanently. I have tried to write emails to a lot of departments that I can think of, which might be related to this. Unfortunately, none of them was working. So I think the chance of whitelist my domain is literally zero. At least in the 100 years, I can't see a chance. To me, I became depressed and suspicious in a period of time. I was feeling insecure. I was worried about if policemen could break into my door in a minute for any kinds of reasons. To be honest, it took me a long time to recover myself. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? Am I safe to speak this out? Man, I think I will be safe because what they focused is on removal of illegal content. The VPN is in a gray area, but one day if you couldn't find this video, then that means something has happened. Well, thank you for taking the time to hear my story. I guess that's enough for today. Thanks for watching and have a good one.